Page 157, A Dream of Red Mansions. The following day, the Lady Dowager instructed Bao Yu to go to the temple to give thanks to his renewed health. Bao Yu burned some paper and then went to a small room to have a rest. Old Wang, the head Taoist priest there, was therefore summoned and came to see Bao Yu. Old Wang had been to the Ning and Rong mansion many times with his collection of strange medicines, and he had been given the nickname One Plaster Wang, since he claimed that applying one of his special plaster would cure almost any illness. When he saw old Wang, Bao Yu asked him whether he knew of any medicine that could cure a woman's jealousy. Old Wang said that he thought there was. Boil a pear, some sugar, and some orange peel until they are soft. If a woman were to drink a little of this concoction every morning, then in due course she would lose all of her feelings. Bao Yu, however, was skeptical about this plan and did not rate its chances of success very high. Yet old Wang was adamant. Whatever you think, this potion has the added benefit of being particularly tasty. It cannot harm the woman. In fact, if she were to drink it every day for 100 years, she would eventually die, and the dead are immune to jealousy. So the potion would have done its job at least anyway. Bao Yu and his servant were doubled over. Bao Yu and his servant were doubled over with laughter by the time old Wang finished speaking. You just drink good pear, orange, and from lemon tree, my backyard lemon tree. Drink it every day. For 100 years you will die. You will not have any disease of jealousy of anything whatsoever. Page 157. Bao Yu was feeling bored one afternoon, so decided to take a walk through the garden. When he was close to the flowery harbor, he saw a number of girls leaning against the railings, while their servants were on their haunch. Before them, Bao Yu quickly hid himself behind a large rock to try and overhear them. He heard Tan Chun, Xue Yan, Tan Chun, Xiu Yan, 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 and a couple of Li Wan's cousins talking. Bao Yu found a small stone on the ground and threw it into the water near them, making all the girls jump in surprise. we were just about to catch a fish that we had lured close. But now you scared it off, Tan Chun said, and everyone laughed. Bao Yu awoke the following morning to find that he had been summoned by his father. When Bao Yu arrived in Jia Zheng's study, his father told him that he should devote his energy to studying 8-part essay, 八股文. It's a special kind of a Chinese essay. It's like when you read a story, you want to have the story fun and interesting, and you do not want to predict anything. But this 八股文, for example, the starting point and a starting scenery explanation, for example, and a starting point, and then your main point outline, and then the story development, and then your conclusion, and then something like exclamation or your reflection, something like it. It's actually used to be a successful style of writing, but if everyone follow the same style of doing something, it becomes very old style. It's like right now, this is not from the book, it's like right now, sometimes we hear other people's motivational talk. It's always, my life used to be miserable and I'm almost died because I did something wrong. And then I found this method, I found this person, I found this idea, and I start to act on it, and I act becomes good, and then there is downtime, and then become good, and now I become a millionaire, billionaire, and now I am overcoming, now I am making a speech to make $1 million. How about you? Yeah. You know, that kind of things. You always hear the same kind of style of things, not someone who is always loser unboxing, boring summer. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's keep on. The 八股文 style. So Bao Yu's father Jia Zheng wanted him to learn to write in a very rigorous and very boring style of writing, because the imperial examination, the SAT, if you have a good SAT, you go to school. It's exactly the same thing, okay? Okay, the day after that, Jia Zheng went with Bao Yu to the family school to see Dai Ru. Jia Zheng then introduced Dai Ru to make sure he disciplined his son so that he would not have any troubles in the future. So his father bring him to a teacher and tell the teacher. It's like it's Dai Yu's, it's the Jia family school, kind of like private school, and a parent has so much money can tell, you should teach my son this and that, and you should not touch his finger, or you should touch his finger. Anyway, it's that kind of stuff. We all know it. We all know the private school experience, right? At least I know it. Okay, page 159. When Bao Yu returned from the school, he first went to see the Lady Dowager and his mother, and then went straight to the Bamboo Lodge. Bamboo Lodge is Dai Yu's place. He went to his grandma, he went to his mother, and then went to the girl he admired. Don't worry, I've returned. Don't worry, I've returned. I survived this. he shouted out as he entered, surprising Dai Yu. At least the awful day is over, and now I can see you again. I feel completely revived. You know how I hate all that talk about morality, especially in those silly 8 parts. I say, I understand that they are necessary to get a degree and a good job, but surely no one takes them seriously. Bao Yu said, I don't know. Some of them have good arguments and some are quite subtle, Dai Yu replied. So I don't think you should condemn them all. And if you want an official career, this is the scholarly way to go about it. Bao Yu was not impressed with Dai Yu's words. She never used to be like this. What's made her so worldly wise? He wondered. Qiu Wen then entered the room to call him away, so Bao Yu left Dai Yu on her own. So anyway, and Bao Yu said, it's only to get a job and to serve others. What on earth do I need to work for others, right? You know he has money. And Dai Yu said, well, they have some good argument. SAT is bad, but there are some exercise which is not so bad. And if you want to go to a good school, an Ivy school, I don't need to say the name, you get the idea. If you want to go to those schools, it's they test it. Bao Yu was very surprised because Dai Yu used to be such a poetic, romantic, and unrealistic, idealistic person instead of a practical and Philistine person. How can Dai Yu think about this? I am surprised. Also, I wonder. Page 160. By evening, Bao Yu was feeling ill, and as a result, he did not wake until late than usual the next day. Though he made his way to school as quickly as he could, he still found Dai Ru brimming with rage. Now I know why your father says you are useless, Dai Ru shouted. In the afternoon, Dai Ru gave Bao Yu a passage to study and was soon criticizing him once again. Don't you want to learn? Next month, you will review all the classics you have already read, and the month after, you will read only essays. When that is done, I will set you subjects to write about. I shan't tolerate any slacking. Do you understand? In any school, you have one of those teachers. Just try to make an imagination of your teacher. Why don't you make it right? What are you doing? What are you thinking in class? This is 3 plus 3 is 7. How can you not know it? Right? Yeah, 3 plus 3 is 7. Okay.